Now put on that beginning music. Put on that very first screen. That one there, yeah.
fish report, hanging at the fish report, hanging at the fish report, hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull, when you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report, hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and Headland D tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Tune in to the fish report.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. My name is Craig Fissinger. That is Ken Francis. Back in our sound room, you know, we usually say TK and Heavy D are back there, Ken. Not only are they out of state, they're actually out of the country. So we got anybody running stuff back there tonight?
Well, Craig, you know, they're doing their other job. Their primary job, obviously, is Fish Report Live Sports
Sure,
Talk.
absolutely.
You know, that's their primary job. They're actually working their secondary job. They're out of the country. So we had to step down to the next generation. We got Little Minnow back there and the left-hander.
Got some our sons back there helping us tonight, so looking forward to those guys hopefully having a good show tonight. We'll see by the end of the show how things go. But, Ken, you know, we're going to be talking some baseball tonight. And speaking of those boys, your oldest one there, Nolan, he's a star pitcher for the Russia Raiders this year, a senior. My son, Ross, just a fourth grader, just getting into baseball. But I know one thing we did with them, baseball-related, was take them over to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, over there to the Little League World Series, and a lot of fun. I think we actually got a picture of it there. That was a couple years ago when I had Ross over there with your son Carter. He took Carter as well. Nolan went, I think, years before. But special trip, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Craig. You know, highly recommended for any father-son combination to go over there. Bring some dads, bring your boys along, and head over to South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It's a great time in August, and you know, you really see a lot of fun, interesting things, and great food also.
Yeah, it's a good time, great food, and you know,
free admission too.
Yeah, you can't beat that. Free games to get into. So, you know, from a dad's point of view, we loved it. We probably ought to ask it from the kids' point of view. So let's go back in the sound room, checking with Nolan and Ross back there. Guys, how's it going back there? You ready to do this tonight?
Yeah, it's going good.
Hey, listen, the dads, we love going to the Little League World Series. How about from the kids' point of view? Nolan, I know it's been a while ago for you. How long ago has it been, and is it worth the trip?
Yeah, it's definitely worth the trip to go and check it out. you get to see kids your age perform on the big stage and kind of get the feeling of what that would be like.
About how old were you when you went there?
About 4th or 5th grade, I would say.
So it's been a while ago. About Ross's age then. So Ross, what do you think? About 2 years ago, you were there. Is it worth that 8-hour drive?
Yes, it is, because you could it's a fun experience in your life.
All right, good stuff, guys. Well, listen, have a good show. And Ken, speaking of baseball, we're going to have a baseball interview tonight and a softball interview, aren't we?
Yes, we are, Craig. Really looking forward to talking to Lehman pitcher Nate Bosway. All Nate's done, Craig, is start the season off with 2 consecutive back-to-back no-hitters. So we'll be talking some Lehman baseball with their pitcher Nate Bosway, as well, Craig, is talking to Russia softball coach Michelle Baker. Michelle's really doing a very good job with the softball program. She took over for longtime coach Roger Hammonds and has continued the tradition. She's got some really nice players, and they're off to a great start as well.
All right. Well, listen, since we're talking baseball, I know you have a baseball trivia question for me tonight. We don't want to forget about that. What do you have for me tonight for the trivia question?
Well, Craig, speaking of high school no-hitters in high school boys baseball, who holds the Ohio record boys baseball for most no-hitters thrown in a regular season?
Most in a regular season. Now,
I'm sorry, I said who holds it. I wanted to know, I'm sorry, how many?
How many? Okay.
Okay, because who holds it is too tough. So how many?
Right.
Is it 3, 4, 6, or 8?
All right, well, Bosway's got 2 of them.
Bosway's already got 2.
It's got to be more than 2 then.
That's right. 3, 4, 6, or 8. Most no-hitters thrown in one high school baseball season.
All right, well, I'm going to need a little help on that one because I have no idea. That trivia question is up on the Fish Report Live page right now. So if you're watching us on the Fish Report Live page, you can scroll down, answer the trivia question, and check your results. If you're watching us on NK Telco, Cable TV Channel 3, we will tell you those results at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, let's get things started. And before we talk with our interview tonight, let's talk a little SCAL baseball. We're most interested in that, of course. Let's check out the standings. I know it's kind of early, but where are we at in the SCAL?
Well, Craig, very early, like you said, and a lot of rainouts this week. Russia sitting atop the league right now, tied with Anna, both at 1-0. Russia at 3-0 overall. Jackson Center, Fort Loramie, Houston, all tied there with 1 loss. Fairlawn with a couple losses. Bokkens at 0-1. So, like you said, very early in the season, Craig. A lot of rainouts right now. So there's going to be a lot of baseball played once this weather clears up. Should be a very interesting league race.
Yeah, looking forward to getting some games in, getting rid of some of this rainy weather, and seeing some real baseball. And now let's jump ahead to the NWCC. Of course, that's what Lehman is in. And again, early in the league. But where are they at right now?
Very early, Craig. Lehman, Riverside, both 2-0. I think they'll be the best 2 teams in that league, Craig. The bottom part of that league, Craig, when they play each other, somebody's got to win.
All right. Well, listen, Lehman's one of those teams, Ken, it seems like the last 5 years especially, they've always had kind of, state tournament talent, you call it, yet they've never been able to get over that hump. Last year they get knocked out of the sectionals by Covington. 3 years ago, I believe, it was that classic in the regional finals against Minster. In your opinion, why haven't they been able to get over that hump and make it to the state tournament?
Well, Craig, honestly, I think it's due to the strength of schedule. Like I said, the NWCC, very top-heavy there. Lehman, Riverside, both very good teams, taking nothing away from Lehman whatsoever. But, I think the strength of schedule that Lehman has played in the past did not prepare them for the postseason. However, Coach King has strengthened the schedule this year. He's already played Miami East. He's got Marion Local on the schedule, Fort Recovery, Fort Loramie, Sydney, Anna. So he's got some a lot better competition, I feel, this year, and which will prepare him for the postseason.
All right, well, they certainly have some talent back again this year, especially in that pitching staff, and one of their aces is, of course, junior Nate Bosway. We're happy to have him live on the phone right now. Nate, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, listen, you started off this season with no better than or better as good as you can, actually, with 2 no-hitters. Congratulations on that. I got to ask, coming into the season, did you feel like you had no-hitter stuff? I mean, did you think you were going to throw a couple back-to-back no-hitters?
Well, to be honest, I was hoping just to start it off like last year. I felt that last year was, it was a pretty good season. But pitching is really only one part of it. I have my catcher to thank, Max Shutt. He's awesome behind the plate, and I also have all my fielders that can't get out that I can. So it's really nice to have them behind my back.
All right. Well, listen, you mentioned your defense there helping you out. I got to ask you, what's the secret to your success? I know you probably don't want to give anything away, but you got any new pitches this year, or is it all about location? Other than your defense, what's made you be so successful?
To be honest, it's part of my dad. Pitching is really all about getting the batter off his timing, and so my dad and Coach King and even Max does a great job of picking up, how is the batter hitting, or what is he doing, how is speed affecting him, or what can I throw to get him to most likely pop up or ground out.
Nate, hi, this is Ken Francis, and let's talk about one of your no-hitters you threw against Covington. Covington knocked Lehman out of tournament last year during their very successful tournament run that the Buccaneers had. Little motivation there this year when you pitched against them?
Yeah, I could say that. It was a little bit of friendly rivalry. I would definitely say last year, though, that Covington definitely deserved to win that game. They're a smart team, and they knew how to play us. But, yeah, it was nice to play them again this year and come out on top.
Let's talk a little bit about the other pitchers on your team. You guys got a nice pitching staff over there. Who also is going to be getting some mound innings this year?
Our two seniors, Cole Profit and Austin Arnold, they're great pitchers. You'll see them again this year. We also have our sophomore, Parker Riley. Again, he's phenomenal, too. But we also have players like Greg Spearman, Nick Rourke, Stephen Monin, and Dylan Arnold, who can also come out and throw when one of us is having trouble.
A lot on your pitching staff. There are a lot of guys that can throw for you, Nate. What about offense, though? Who's scoring the runs for you this year, or who's been playing well so far?
Well, we've all had some good and well-timed hits this year. We've had a few doubles and a few hard-hit singles to get people on base. The other day, Dylan Arnold had a great bunt that got him on base, so we're laying those a few down. But we're just trying to get, 9 men strong. We want to be able to hit not just the top or our bottom 5, but also everyone through the lineup. So we're just really trying to get stronger there.
Nate, who are some of the tough teams in the NWCC this year? I know you and Riverside are both pretty talented. Any other teams we should watch for there amongst the other 6 schools, or is it pretty much going to be between you and Riverside?
Lima Perry and Upper Scioto, they're also really good teams that we've played. They all have strong players, and frankly, they know the game pretty well too, and it's always exciting to play them.
Your coach has around 510 career victories. Coach King, one of the most respected coaches in the area, has done a great job. He's been around, at Sydney, starting out Jackson Center. Now he's at Lehman. How has his success rubbed off on the Cavalier team?
Coach King is great, in my opinion. I love having King around at practice. He knows a lot about the game, and he really knows how to convey it to our players. Trying to think about. He's really. I want to say he's really excitable. He really has a passion for the game and for our field, and that's really rubs on us. It kind of makes us want to play better or play harder, try to really get him that victory.
Hey, Nate, listen, one more question and we'll let you go, but I know you're just a junior, but any thoughts of after you graduate on going to college, any thoughts of maybe playing baseball somewhere?
Well, currently I'm kind of undecided. I've gone to a few showcases and gotten some feedback, and hopefully I'll get some more looks this summer, and I'll see where it takes me.
All right, Nate. Well, listen, good luck to you and the Cavalier team. Russia, we may run into you down the tournament trail sometime, and we really appreciate you taking your time out of your night to be on our show.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Nate.
Yep, no problem.
All right, that was Lehman Jr. Nate Bosway. And Ken, he mentioned going to some showcases as a way to get his name out there. I think you know a little bit about that, or have you had any experience with that as far as what that does for an athlete looking to play at the next level?
Certainly have, Craig. And, there can be pros and cons to going to the showcases. If you have a great day, then, it can be a pro. Obviously, if you're a little bit off your game that day, then unfortunately bad news travels fast. So, it all depends on how you're thrown on a particular weekend when you get to that showcase.
What do they look for? I mean, are they looking at speed? Are they looking at different kind of pitches you can throw? How's it work?
They look at 3 things, Craig: speed, and speed.
Okay.
And they want to know how hard you can throw. And if you're not 85 to 90, then they'll
For a Division I program.
For a Division I program, right? Yeah,
It doesn't matter if you got that big curveball, huh? They don't.
Doesn't matter. They want you in the mid to upper 80s, and you better be there. Otherwise, they're going to look at somebody else.
All right, that's good stuff to know, and I'll have to let Ross back there know he better work on his fastball.
That's right.
If he wants to get
They'll
noticed.
They'll teach you the location and the curveball, but speed is one thing that they look for. Live arms.
All right. Well, listen, that's going to do it for the first half of our show. We're going to take a short break, but stay right there. When we come back, we're going to talk some softball, including that interview with Russia coach Michelle Baker. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, we were talking some baseball. Ken, now we're going to talk a little softball. And I noticed the other night that Fort Laramie actually has 5 games. And we talked earlier about playing in between the raindrops and all the rain affecting these games. But, Laramie's got 5 games in. Russia's got 2 games in. What's the deal with that? Is it rain in Laramie or what?
Craig, I think they just got a field that dries really quick. Maybe Coach Turner's out there. Maybe he's got a tarp. I don't know what he's got, but they sure do play a lot of games. I know Coach Sturwald does a great job taking care of his field as well. But I think it really is they got good top dirt over there and a field that drain well.
All right, well, maybe we ought to ask the coach of the Russia Lady Raiders about this, but we've got her live on the phone right now. Coach Baker, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi, thanks for having me.
What's the deal with it? Ken and I were just talking about the rain. How does Russia get more rain than Fort Laramie? What's the deal with that?
Right, I guess so. I was talking to the coaches, and they said they already had 4 games into our 1 before the other night. So
unbelievable.
It was unbelievable.
Well, listen, you got a nice start to the season. You got a win over Fort Recovery at home. You had a game against Fort Laramie the other night. Kind of let that one slip away, but let's talk about this Fort Recovery game first. How important was it for your team to get off to a good start?
I believe as a coach, really, that the first game can kind of set the tone for the season. So it was a huge relief for the team to kind of take home that first win, especially considering, like we just said, that was only our 4th time on the dirt together. So it was definitely nice to bring home that first win. All right,
and in the game the other night against Fort Laramie, you had an 8-3 lead. Again, kind of let it slip away. What do you take from a game like that?
Yeah, that game was really tough. I feel like I'm still kind of playing it back over in my head a few times. I think the players and as coaches, we kind of walked away learning a lot from that game. first things first, we know we can compete with that Fort Laramie team any day of the week. We're really looking forward to seeing them again later in the season. But we talked after the game a little bit about having the confidence in ourselves to be able to shut the door when we are ahead like that in the last few innings. I think the past few years playing Laramie that has happened quite a bit where we've been ahead and then we just can't seem to shut it down there in the last couple innings. So really got to work on that. And then we talked a little bit about capitalizing on the small things like bunting and knowing where you're going to go with the ball on defense. So those are a couple things we kind of took away from that game, but that was a tough one for the girls. So.
Coach, hi, this is Ken Francis. Speaking of the Fort Laramie game, your sophomore Maria Herron had a huge hit. She had a great year last year for you. We're actually showing her hit right here on the screen. Tell us a little bit about Maria. She's just a sophomore. She's phenomenal on the basketball court as well. Tell us about this bright star and her importance on your team.
Oh, Maria Herron. It was in that situation just the other night. I kind of was up to bat, and I saw it was Maria, and it was one of those kind of gut feelings as a coach where you just know they're going to get it done. So she does that for us a lot, and of course she came through the other night. Maria is really one of those players, and I bet you her basketball coach could attest to this as well. She's one of those players that I wish I had kind of. Not only for her athleticism, but really her attitude, her dedication, her love to the game. She's just an awesome kid, and she's very clutch in a lot of situations. And so we're kind of counting on her this year to be solid behind the plate for us and continue to come up to the plate with those big hits. And I know she's only a sophomore, but she just gets it done. She's great.
Speaking of young players, you've got a freshman on your team by the name of Grace Saunders. Not only is she young, but when I say she's young, she is young. She's just 13 years old. I've got an 8th grader, and she's actually a year younger than my 8th grader. So she could, honestly, could be a 7th grader. She's out there playing varsity softball, competing in a huge Shelby County League game. This young lady could honestly be a 7th grader. Tell us a little bit about Grace. You brought her in the 6th inning in a crucial game. She did a great job for you. Give us a lowdown on her.
Grace, she's very much a competitor and a go-getter as well. It is amazing to me as well that she could be a 7th grader. Sometimes I just can hardly believe it when you look at her stature and her how put together she is as a freshman. She's one of those players who likes being pushed. Like, she doesn't just settle. She wants to get better every single day. She's going to do great things for us this year and for years to come. And I truly think that, the other night we put her in the big situation because we believe in her. Even though she's a freshman, we absolutely believe that she could take on that challenge the other night. And I think she's going to get better and better each time that she steps on the mound. And having 2 dedicated pitchers this year between Grace and Maddie is really going to make a huge difference for us this year.
Let's talk about a few of your other Raiders. You've got a few seniors on the team, Kennedy Metz, Karina Francis. You've got some other good young returning players from last year. Tell us about some of your other stars.
I think you kind of hit it there. I have a lot of great seniors this year. Karina Francis being one of them, second baseman. She's a solid ball player who I can really count on to get the job done. But really all the seniors this year, Hannah Sherman, Julia Dries, Kennedy Metz, Carrie Petty, Karina Francis, really, I'm kind of counting on them this year because I truly feel like when you put seniors out there, they're playing their hearts out every game because they know that it could be their last days on the diamond. So I'm really counting on those 5 seniors this year to come through. But we also got a freshman, Lexi Monin, playing shortstop for us. So counting on her to also be big this year as a freshman. So those are just some of the starters this year that we're really looking forward to make a presence in the Shelby County League.
All right, speaking of that Shelby County League, Coach, you got a big game coming up Thursday night, hopefully, if you can get in with the weather, and that is Houston. What do you know about that Houston program? I know it's annually a pretty decent team over there. How are they this year?
Well, like you said, we know we're facing a good ball team tomorrow, hopefully. We've been talking to the girls a lot about pitch selection. Houston pitchers are pretty good at they have pretty nice junk, so we're trying to kind of work with the girls on laying off that junk. And really, we know that their offense is going to put the ball in play. I've told my girls that this isn't going to be a game where the our pitchers have 10, 12 strikeouts, So we're kind of counting on that defense to be behind our pitchers tomorrow night and get the job done.
All right, Coach, one more question and we'll let you go. Now, last year we interviewed you as well, and I know one of the things you told me that you were excited or anxious about getting girls excited about softball, but you didn't quite have the numbers last year. How is it this year? Any better numbers this year than last year?
Yeah, I think slowly but surely it's getting better. This year we have 14 total girls. One is injured right now, so we have 13 able to play. So the numbers are up a little bit from last year where we only had 11. So I think if we just keep going in that direction every single year, who knows, maybe one year we'll even be able to throw a JV team together and kind of teach some of those younger kids. But yeah, I think it's going to get better. I'm going to talk a lot with the parents of the younger kids. I actually have a meeting with them this weekend and kind of get them excited about softball as well, and hopefully get their girls excited. I think we've got a great future here at Rishi with softball.
Well, Coach, from what I hear out there and what I've seen, you're doing a great job with the program. Wish you the best of luck. Really, honestly, hear just a lot of good, positive feedback on the not just your knowledge of the game. I know you played it in college. You were a very successful college player at Wright State. You've brought that knowledge to Rushi, and not only that, you're teaching the kids and in a manner that is very well respected. So, congratulations to that,
it.
And appreciate you being on our show.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that was the head coach of the Lady Raiders, Michelle Baker, and I agree with you, Ken. I've heard great things about her as well, and hopefully she'll get that Rushi program up there with some of the better programs in the area.
Well, I think they proved it the other night, Craig, taking Fort Lormy there in a very close ball game. Lormy and Coach Turner over there, he's had a great team the last several years. They got a good team this year, and Rushi definitely played with them, and there's no reason that they don't have the confidence that they can continue to improve that program.
Yeah, they've won. Actually, Larmy's won, I believe, the last 4 SCAL titles in a row, and they've got a JV program over there as well, I believe, and they're one of the few, I think, in the county that do,
right?
Or maybe the only one. And but anyway, just they know how to do it over there, and like I said, I think Arushi's heading that direction. All right, Ken. Well, listen, that's going to wrap it up almost for us tonight. I do have one more thing to get to, and that is that trivia question. Why don't you ask me again, and we'll have the guys back in the sound room check the Fish Report telemetrics out.
Craig, speaking of no-hitters, what is the record for the most no-hitters thrown in high school baseball in one season in Ohio? Most no-hitters thrown in one season. Is it 3, 4, 6, or 8?
3, 4, 6, or 8. All right. Well, like I said, I have no idea on that one. I'm definitely going to need some help on that. So let's go back to the sound room and check in with the guys. Guys, how'd it go back there tonight? Seemed like you did a pretty good job from this end.
Oh, everything went smooth back here tonight.
All right, Ross, what we got any help on the Fish Report telemetrics?
Yeah, for 4 no-hitters, we got 25%, and 6 no-hitters, we got 75%.
Well, I guess I would probably want to go with the 75%, and you said that was for 6 no-hitters?
Yes.
All right, well, Ken, I guess I'm going to go with 6 no-hitters.
Well, Craig, like we said before, Nate Bosway's got 2. He actually needs 6 more, so the record is actually 8 no-hitters.
Boy.
8 no-hitters in one season. Actually, Craig, I don't remember this guy, but it was done by a man by the name of Dean Chance, and I'm sure some of our listeners out there have heard of Dean Chance. Dean played high school baseball for West Salem High School in Ohio, up by Worcester area. He's a 1958 basketball state champion. He was a 1959 baseball state champion. Interested on that, he pitched every inning of his team's postseason tournament run. He pitched every inning, okay? Not only that, he threw 8 no-hitters as a junior, 8 no-hitters as a senior for 16. Then he also threw 1 as a sophomore, so he had 17 career high school no-hitters. He holds all kinds of OHSA records, Craig, but he played 11 years Major League Baseball.
Oh, wow, okay.
He was actually, Craig, a Cy Young Award winner for the Los Angeles Angels in 1964. This guy's phenomenal.
I'm going to have to go check my baseball card collection out. Dean Chance.
Dean Chance. All right. And I'll bet you anything, a lot of our listeners have heard of this guy. He's got 1 Major League Baseball no-hitter. And it's interesting when he played for the Los Angeles Angels, Craig, he even got into the Hollywood scene a little bit. All right. And then after he retired, he came back to Ohio. And guess what? He got into being a carnival man. He became one of the most renowned carnies in Ohio. And also, he was the president of the International Boxing Association. This guy's done it all.
Good grief.
Dean Chance. So, Dean, if you happen to be listening to our show out there tonight, which I don't know if you are or not, but congratulations. You must have been a heck of a pitcher.
Dean Chance. You always learn something on Fish Report Live, don't
right.
you? All right. Well, listen, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Do want to say special thanks to our guests, Nate Bosway from Lehman and Michelle Baker from Russia. Also, special thanks to Ross and Nolan back there in the sound room for helping us out. Ken and I will be back, as well as TK and Heavy D next week. So until then, everyone have a great rest of the week, and good night.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the Fish Report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the Fish Report, hanging at the Fish Report.